that man the alone.
My family have been destroyed by Satan.
I did not know that was real.
Top
trying
secret.
to like
It's top secret.
Yeah, it's top secret. But I was learning a new trick and I was getting like confident, and I didn't fall hard. It was the way.
Have you ever seen two people fighting over the same chair, both refusing to get up because neither wants to lose face? That's exactly the energy I feel when I look at this brewing triangle between Timothée Chalamet, Travis Scott, and Kylie Jenner. At first, Kylie's relationship with Timothée was painted as a fresh start. New, glamorous, and picture perfect. But the whispers coming out of Hollywood suggest something far messier. Kylie may have been sneaking back to Travis Scott, the father of her children, while still parading her romance with Timothée. And now, word behind the scenes is that Timothée found out and actually confronted Travis. Let's break down how this triangle spiraled into chaos, why Kylie might be playing two sides, and what it says about the dangerous game of image, power, and loyalty in Hollywood. When Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet first went public, the rollout couldn't have been more polished if it had been scripted. They appeared at Beyoncé's concert, sitting side by side in a VIP section where they knew every lens in the stadium would catch them. Days later, the US Open, courtside seats, whispers in each other's ears, and smiles just wide enough for the cameras. And then came that kiss, the one that melted timelines across Instagram and Twitter. Suddenly, they weren't just two celebrities. They were the internet's newest obsession. But here's where it gets interesting. Insiders whispered that from the very beginning, people close to Kylie weren't convinced. Hollywood chatter claims the whole thing looked staged, like a PR campaign dressed as romance. After all, what better way for Kylie to wipe the slate clean from years of drama with Travis Scott than by attaching herself to one of the most respected actors in Hollywood?
Leave that man the alone.
My family have been destroyed by Satan.
I did not know that was real.
It was the perfect reset button, but perfect is often a red flag. Here's the part nobody can ignore. Travis Scott never actually exited Kylie's life. Yes, the headlines screamed, "breakup." But Kylie and Travis share two children, and that bond isn't something you can just switch off. Rumors in the circle say neighbors have spotted Travis's car coming and going from Kylie's gated community long after the supposed split. The talk in town is that Travis always had an open door to Kylie's world, whether for co-parenting or something more. And that's what Timothée may have underestimated. To the public, he was the new boyfriend. But behind the scenes, Travis was still there, woven into Kylie's daily life in ways no new partner could easily compete with. It wasn't just about romance anymore, it was about history. At first, Timothée brushed off the little things. A canceled dinner here, a vague explanation about being busy with the kids there. But soon, the signs began to add up. Whispers online hint that Kylie started missing events she had promised she'd attend with Timothée. Then came the late-night calls that ended with her stepping out of the room. And the most telling of all, paparazzi accidents.
Top
trying
secret.
to like
It's top secret.
Yeah, it's top secret. But I was learning a new trick and I was getting like confident, and I didn't fall hard. It was the way.
Those suspiciously timed shots where Kylie seemed completely at ease when Travis's name came up. Industry buzz suggests Timothée tried to rationalize it, telling himself it was just co-parenting and nothing more. But anyone who's ever felt that sting of doubt knows how it grows. What starts as a whisper becomes a gnawing suspicion, and before long, every little detail feels like confirmation. The cracks in the fairy tale had begun to show. Hollywood chatter claims Kylie has been running two narratives at the same time, and the contrast is almost theatrical. In front of the cameras, she's Timothée's glamorous girlfriend, kissing him at concerts and clinging to him at sporting events. Behind the cameras, she slides back into her old rhythm with Travis Scott, where family ties and comfort take over. Think about it. Kylie got the prestige and global buzz by being with Timmy, the serious actor who lent her image an artistic edge. But she also held onto Travis, the father of her kids and someone whose presence anchors her personal life. To me, it doesn't look like indecision. It looks like strategy. Two parallel roles, carefully balanced to keep every part of her empire stable. Headlines from one man, home life with the other. Eventually, the whispers weren't whispers anymore. Friends in Hollywood circles began pulling Timothée aside, warning him that Kylie's loyalty wasn't as clean-cut as it seemed. Some even hinted that Kylie and Travis were closer than anyone wanted to admit. Insiders whisper that Timothée, who is famously private and usually calm under pressure, hit a breaking point. He hadn't agreed to be part of a messy triangle, and he certainly didn't want his name dragged through Kardashian-style headlines. Word behind the scenes is that Timothée decided to go straight to the source, Travis Scott himself. No gossip, no passive-aggressive subtweets, a face-to-face confrontation to settle the question once and for all: was Kylie truly done with Travis? Or was Timothée just a temporary distraction? That choice would change everything. Confronting Travis Scott isn't the same as confronting just anyone in Hollywood. Travis has built his whole image on intensity, the high-energy performances, the no-nonsense persona, and the aura of someone who doesn't back down. Industry buzz suggests Timothée knew exactly what he was walking into. He's soft-spoken, calculated, a man of words, while Travis thrives on dominance and presence. This was oil and water, but according to insiders, Timmy felt cornered. Whispers online hint that he wanted the truth straight from Travis's mouth. Was Travis still involved with Kylie, or was Timmy nothing more than a rebound to distract from Kylie's unresolved history? The confrontation, insiders claim, was tense, icy, and heavy, with unspoken hostility. Timothée wasn't just fighting for answers, he was fighting for dignity. While this tension built behind the scenes, Kylie Jenner's response was silence. And not the innocent kind of silence, the calculated kind. Normally, Kylie is quick to shut down rumors with cryptic captions, carefully staged selfies, or subtle Instagram hints. But during this storm, nothing. Radio silence. The talk in town is that Kylie's choice to stay quiet wasn't by accident, it was strategy. By keeping her lips sealed, she left both men stewing in their own assumptions. For the public, she maintained the image of Timothée's glamorous girlfriend. For Travis, she left the door open, letting him feel like he still had a place. To me, it looks like Kylie was trying to keep both sides in play without committing to either. Silence wasn't weakness. Silence was control. When the confrontation finally happened, insiders whisper it wasn't explosive shouting or wild drama. It was sharper than that. Timothée, described by sources as visibly frustrated, demanded clarity. He wanted to know, was Travis still part of Kylie's life in a way that made Timothée nothing more than a placeholder? Hollywood chatter claims Travis didn't deny anything. He didn't say no, he didn't promise distance. Instead, he leaned back and brushed it off with one chilling line: Kylie will always be family. That phrase cut like a knife. To Timothée, it sounded less like co-parenting and more like a declaration of unfinished business. A reminder that no matter how many public kisses Kylie shared with Timmy, Travis's presence in her life was permanent. The air was heavy, neither man backed down, but the message was clear. Timothée wasn't in control of this story. After that confrontation, nothing was the same. Insiders whisper that Timothée started to quietly distance himself from Kylie. He skipped private events where he was expected to be her arm candy. He stopped appearing in the carefully staged paparazzi shots. Friends say he became colder, more withdrawn, no longer willing to play along with the perfect romance narrative. Meanwhile, rumors spread that Kylie scrambled to fix the situation. Word behind the scenes is that she begged Timothée to understand, insisting her bond with Travis was strictly about their children. But the damage was already done. Trust, once broken, rarely gets rebuilt in Hollywood, especially when the whole world is watching. And for Timothée, the cracks were too wide to ignore. Hollywood doesn't wait long to pounce when the cracks show. It didn't take much for the press to notice something was off. Fans started asking why Kylie and Timmy weren't being seen together as often. Tabloids started publishing side-by-side comparisons of Kylie's outings with Travis and her dwindling public appearances with Timothée. Even gossip blogs that once championed the romance of the year began asking the uncomfortable question, had Kylie slipped back to Travis? The cracks in Kylie's carefully crafted narrative weren't cracks anymore. They were gaping holes, and for the media, this was gold. Nothing sells like the unraveling of a picture-perfect fairy tale. Here's the angle that doesn't get talked about enough. Timothée Chalamet's brand isn't built on being a tabloid fixture. It's built on authenticity. He's the soft-spoken, artsy actor who shies away from Hollywood's circus. His appeal comes from looking like the real deal, the serious actor who just happens to set fashion trends and inspire fan edits on TikTok. Industry buzz suggests that once the whispers about Kylie and Travis started snowballing, Timothée quickly realized how dangerous this was for his career. Being dragged into Kardashian-Jenner drama was one thing, but being painted as the outsider in a messy triangle with Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott, that was brand poison. The confrontation with Travis then wasn't just about love or loyalty, it was about survival. It was Timothée realizing that if he didn't take control of the narrative, the story could rewrite him, turning the quiet indie darling into the humiliated other guy. For Timothée, protecting his reputation was as urgent as protecting his heart. For Travis Scott, though, the confrontation may have been exactly what he wanted. Rumors in the circle say Travis walked away from that encounter feeling like he had the upper hand. Confident, secure, almost smug, because to him, Kylie always being family wasn't just a line, it was the truth. Their children bond them forever, and in Travis's eyes, that gave him an edge. Timothée could never match. To Travis's fans, the idea of Kylie orbiting back to him wasn't surprising. They saw her public fling with Timmy as temporary, a phase, maybe even a distraction. But to Timothée's fans, it looked like humiliation. It looked like he had stepped into a world he didn't belong in and gotten burned. And once public perception starts tilting, it's nearly impossible to tilt it back. Kylie's role in all of this became almost theatrical. With Timothée, she leaned into the glamorous girlfriend aesthetic. It was designer gowns, flawless makeup, and whispers at star-studded events. With Travis, it was the complete opposite: cozy family dinners, casual outings with the kids, and that sense of home she's built with him for years. Whispers online hint that Kylie wanted both worlds. She craved the prestige and glamour of being tied to Timothée, the Hollywood darling who gave her an air of sophistication. But she also wanted the comfort and permanence of Travis, the father of her children, the man tied to her real-life family dynamic. But here's the problem: juggling two worlds might work behind closed doors. In the public eye, it always cracks, and the more Kylie tried to keep both sides afloat, the more obvious it became that she couldn't have both without losing one. And this is where the fans come in. The people who watch every move, screenshot every post, and put together timelines like detectives. On Twitter threads, TikTok breakdowns, and Reddit forums, fans started piecing together the entire puzzle. They noticed patterns whenever Timothée went quiet or disappeared from public view. Travis's name mysteriously popped back into the conversation. And whenever Travis faded into the background, Kylie was suddenly back on Timmy's arm, smiling for the cameras. People weren't buying the coincidence anymore. Rumors in the circle say even dedicated fan accounts, the ones that once shipped Kylie and Timmy like crazy, started calling it out as fake. Others began flat out accusing Kylie of bouncing between both men, fueling the cheating whispers louder than ever. And once the fans connect the dots, there's no putting the genie back in the bottle. By now, insiders whisper that the whole thing has unraveled. Timothée has quietly distanced himself, making fewer appearances by Kylie's side and focusing more on his film projects. Travis, meanwhile, has reasserted his presence, walking taller and more confident, knowing that Kylie always seems to circle back to him. And Kylie, she's in full spin mode, trying to control the narrative before it spirals into a PR disaster. But no matter how many glamorous photos she posts, no matter how many distraction headlines appear, the whispers about this triangle aren't going away. What started as Hollywood gossip has evolved into a full-blown scandal. And if the confrontation between Timothée and Travis really happened the way insiders describe, then Kylie Jenner's love life is no longer a glossy headline. It's a battlefield, a showdown between two men who never wanted to share the same stage, and a woman who tried to play both worlds until the curtain finally fell. So where does this leave us? Here's my bold prediction: Timothée won't stick around. His brand is too valuable to risk being dragged through Kylie's messy push and pull with Travis. I think he'll bow out quietly, refocusing on his films while leaving Kylie to manage the fallout. As for Travis, he'll always have a permanent link to Kylie through their kids, and that's a power Timothée can't compete with. And Kylie? She may try to spin the story, post a distraction, or roll out a new headline. But the truth is already slipping out, because when you juggle two narratives long enough, sooner or later, the whole act collapses.